I feel like I came in, like my eyes are just, oh my gosh, I had no idea all of this was involved, everything that was going on behind the scenes. Because I mean, people see the waterfront right now, it's just the hospital's been torn down, it's just open space, and they
Yeah.
don't see anything really being done. But there is a lot being done behind the scenes that, but that we're ramping up to then have stuff that the public will finally be able to see come to fruition. So phase one includes the Waterfront Park, which is pretty much what people know as the old hospital property, and what used to be kind of the amphitheater. That's all been leveled off now, and that is open to the public for public use. We do have a little bit of electricity out there right now, which was used during the kite festival. They had the DJ and everything. So we have a little bit of infrastructure there, if people want to have events. But there's more planned for that in phase two. So phase one for the Waterfront Park was just making it accessible to the public. And then we have the hotel, which is part of phase one, which hopefully we'll be able to announce that deal soon. It's just the lawyers are going back and forth right now with nitpicking all their, their legalese and whatnot. But hopefully we can announce that soon. So that's part of phase one. And then what we just got approval for that I mentioned in my newsletter, with planning and zoning, that first part of the promenade that connects the current wharf, which is where Governor's Hall used to be,
Right.
that current wharf area, and it connects around all the way to the boat ramp. Then the remainder of the promenade east of the boat ramp will be part of phase two. So most of what phase one is on the west side of the whole Cambridge Harbor area.
How much does phase one cost you all?
It's a couple $1 million. I can say that. And we've been lucky enough to get some grants and appropriations from the state as well as city ARPA funds to help with some of the wharf improvements there. So that's where we're getting most of our cash inflow now. And then moving forward, sale of the property for those parcels that will be developed, that will also then be part of our cash flow. But for now, since we're focusing mainly on the public infrastructure, we're really relying on those state and local grants. And what we do plan on breaking ground in this year is the promenade, since we got approval with planning and zoning for our design. So those people will finally be seeing some work done on that public space there. And then hopefully the public starts, using the waterfront park more. And, hopefully we'll see people just out there, walking their dogs, playing with their kids, having picnics. We
Yeah.
wanted people to know that it's there for them.
You did talk a little bit about the mural project and this connection to Cambridge culture. I'm very interested in that part and how you can take this kind of project and make it clear that there is some heritage here and all that.
So I'm really excited about that what we're calling like the East Gateway area, which is just the big grassy place where Burger King used to be.
Yeah.
So our design plans for that are really cool. It's going to be an awesome, just welcome to Cambridge area. We'll have a sign that says welcome to Cambridge. People will be able to pull off and park there. And part of that design, we're looking at having, highlighting different parts of our heritage and and we haven't quite settled on what those things will be. There's about 3 different kind of activations we'll have at the site, and we're still narrowing down what those will be. But, it'll include some history, some like wayfinding in terms of like where to go in the city to learn more about this. And we're looking at our Native American heritage, our agricultural heritage, obviously the working waterfront, all those sorts of things, our African American history. So all those different things that we just want to share about the city in Dorchester County. And then to play into that, we're looking at a really cool mural installation where we're taking Michael Rosato's mural that's currently on that building, moving it out more, and then adding kind of into a 3-dimensional type design, and where we can add some additional murals in that tell more of a story about the area.
Do you have an image of that, a rendering?
We do. I'll see if we're able to share that.
Okay.
And there's really nothing coming from the west that welcomes people to Cambridge right now. It's just you cross the bridge and there you are.
Yeah,
So this will be a nice kind of, first
yeah,
thing that people see as soon as they cross the bridge. Welcome. Hopefully it is attention grabbing that'll pull some people off. Maybe if they're on their way to Ocean City, like, oh, this looks interesting. We need a pit stop. Let's pull in here.
yeah,
And then we'll have some wayfinding to the rest of the city or some information. So maybe if they don't have time, it's in their mind, like, oh, hey, let's come back
yeah.
and stop in Cambridge and check out all these other cool things.
This whole issue of community input is interesting to me. I mean,
Hmm.
just getting to a point where you can say, okay, it's going to be the Cambridge Harbor,
Yeah.
it's kind of an interesting process, but you're going to have to be doing this over and over again and
Yes.
kind of aligning yourselves with the community and the city of Cambridge. And it's,
Right.
how do you go about that?
Like, we're very sensitive to what the community wants to see. We know over the years, developers have come in, have promised they're going to do this and that, and either abandon the project or end up not fulfilling those promises. And we don't want that to happen. All of us on the board are part of the community, so we represent what the community wants also. And we've sent out those surveys to get that initial feedback, and that's what's influenced the site design. And that's why we have the large waterfront park, because people wanted open access to the water and public space. That's why we'll be doing mixed use of retail and residential, because we're not trying to take away anything from downtown either. The commercial part of Cambridge Harbor is actually not a huge component when you look at the overall like square footage of the area and what we're developing. So we're listening to what the community wants and also want it to be harmonious with the rest of the city. We don't want Cambridge Harbor to just be, oh, come to Cambridge Harbor, this is it. We want to be, come see this awesome part of Cambridge. And while you're here, visit the rest of Cambridge as well. So I think as we have opportunities to get the community involved, such as when we named the new road, which is now Waterman's Way. We'll take those opportunities to reach out to the public and see, hey, what are you thinking? What would you like to see here? Just to make sure that we're still involving the community. This is a long process. So we don't want the community to feel like, all right, we're done with you. Now we're, moving along. We want the community to feel like they're going to be part of this process as it continues to evolve over the years.
And how about the other stakeholder, the city itself? How's that going?
Mhm. Good. We are working through some things with the city right now, but we're opening up our lines of communication with them and having good conversations with the city council and the city manager. And I think that's the most important part, is just keeping that communication open, letting them know that if they ever have any concerns or questions, they can reach out to us. And there's always going to be some things that are still confidential as we work through the process, and we'll share with them as much as we can. And we just are really trying to let them know that we want to be a good partner with them. This isn't going to work unless we can work together to bring it to fruition. So the more that we can communicate and ask questions and have a constructive dialogue back and forth, the better it'll be for everybody. Cool to be a part
Where
of.
are we with that, the YMCA? Is that something that's still being discussed? And
So we haven't had any more conversations with the Y since kind of it all came out that they were looking at Cambridge Harbor. So, we never had any set agreement with them or anything like that. They just expressed interest
hmm,
in developing that one parcel at Cambridge Harbor. So from what I know, the Y is now doing stuff on their end. It's a expensive project. So I
yeah,
think they're focusing on, what funds can they raise and things like that. So, and I think some people got nervous when the Y kind of made their announcement about their plans to build a new Y, and thinking that it was going to be happening, right away. Whereas
yeah,
that's
yeah.
not the case. They need to raise money. They need to, there's, their building plans. There's so much that goes into it that expressing their interest and their want of having a new Y is just the very first step in that whole process.